Bob McLeod, and you're watching Omni X-Men.
What is going on, everybody? Justin here, aka No Good Comics. Welcome back to the channel. If you were just with me on this channel, I was just live for the last hour and a half talking music, talking Kendrick Lamar with John and Noah. But now we're live here for Omni X-Men, and we're talking about this issue right here, Uncanny X-Men issue 198, Life Death issue, or part 2, I should say, from our Omni X-Men journey that we've been on. So I'm really excited to dive into this one tonight. Of course, I say we. It's not just me. It is also my good friend and co-host, John from John's Comics with Kids. John.
Hey, how you doing?
Look at that.
Got my Life Death hardcover, Barry Windsor Smith goodness here. I'm ready. But I also have, I got lots of them. I got lots. All the Life Death.
Dude, I love the post that you did earlier on Instagram, and I was like, man, I got some collecting to do to catch up, because I just bought this for $3 at Zap the other day, and I'm like, man, I don't think I had this one. I got a nice little newsstand, but
yeah, I don't have. And the funny thing is, all of them are directs. I have no newsstands, so I'm not
nice
newsstand yet.
That means the journey continues for you.
I forgot to post this French version of Life Death Part 1.
Ooh,
it's like a magazine size version of that book. So it's like an, oversized basically edition. This was from Magic Lasso sent me this.
Oh, cool.
I'm trying to find like some good panels there, but yeah.
Oh yeah. That has both parts. That's
no, it's just this is just part 1.
Oh, okay, cool.
Trying to see if I can find
I assume they made a part 2 then for
I have no idea. So adieu tonal.
Nice, very nice. Cool, man. Hey, you got to be excited tonight because we got our girl Storm back, right? I feel like it's been a tease these last few episodes, these last few issues has just been a little, side panels and just quick, one little page of Storm and her.
They shot her and left her for dead last time, man. I mean,
you got these siblings that are just like cruel and just shooting her and animals, and it hasn't been good for Storm recently, but at least she's back.
It's all culminating tonight.
Yes. Well, it's cool that you hold that up too, by the way, that book that you were showing before, because I feel like our guest tonight also usually has some really cool, including t-shirts. He also really has a really cool collection, always showing like unique collected editions of comics that he's breaking down on his channel. So let's bring him on, our good friend and our guest for the evening, Darrell, aka Read Your Comics. Darrell, what's up, dude? How you been, man?
I'm doing great, man. I feel bad. I should have dug my original copy out over there to show off what you guys were, but
I'm over here hyping you up. I'm like, yeah, he has all these cool collected editions. Show it off, Darrell.
You have it. I read it digitally to talk to you guys about it. You look like everybody's showing off what they got. And I was like, I guess
you're like, do I hold my iPad up or not?
I finally got slabs of these the other day because I was like, why do I not have beautiful 9/8 of these 1 and 2, and they're really reasonably priced? And I was like, okay, well, now I got to get them.
Mm-hmm. I do have a question. Those collected editions you're looking at, like the Omni, are they recolored? Because Barry Windsor Smith colored this issue.
I don't know. I mean, everything's a lot brighter, if that's what you mean by that. The inks are very fresh.
I mean, it looks the same in my hardcover as it does in my omnibus.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming
that's
it's
probably the same reprint. You'd have to probably look at
I would have to open
at an original. But I was just curious because I was like, this is this is a pure Barry Windsor Smith.
Book, it is.
Like pencils
and
in colors. So
yeah, it's cool. That's really cool. I'm excited to have him back. It's been a little while since we've had him featured in the book like we do tonight. So and it's been a little rocky in these last really this season has been a little rocky as far as artwork goes. Ups and downs for sure. But I'm excited to show off some panels here tonight. I tried to blow up some stuff and really show some key pieces, at least to certain things, while also not skipping anything. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Before we get into everything, I want to remind everybody, if you're not following Darrell, you certainly should do so. I put his links in the description below. Darrell, I think you run a phenomenal channel. You're very consistent too. I love that you keep coming back, and I love that you keep your kids involved with a lot of it. So it's cool to always see, them having their nightly reads and diving into things and having their own opinions on all that stuff is always great to see. So appreciate you always. Make sure you guys are subbed up to him, and then of course make sure you're following John, because we will be back over on John's channel next Tuesday as we continue to go back and forth on each other's channels every other episode, if you're new and didn't know that. So make sure you're subbed up to John, and plus John does some pretty cool content too. I'll give him that. He's got a couple other cool things.
Whatever.
He's got a D&D show that he does. It's pretty cool.
I was doing impressions this last week.
Oh, nice.
Rodney Dangerfield impression came.
Ooh, definitely got to go back and watch that. The other thing I wanted to shout out was our featured artist of the season, the Fraim brothers. I put their links in the description as well. I actually didn't get a chance, John, to upload that image yet that you had sent me, but if you have it on hand, great. If not, no worries. But we'll be giving this artwork away at the end of the season, which usually falls around June. So for those who are not familiar with the show, we do a huge giveaway at the end of the season. So be around for that. And the way that you can win it is if you answer our trivia at the end of each and every episode correctly, you'll get points added to a scoreboard and more entries into our prize wheel. So, there it is.
I know I had it.
Yes. Fraim Brothers, excellent work. A beautiful sketch cover, getting the entire team there, the team we know and love. So yeah, you have a chance to win that, amongst other things. John usually puts together a crazy box of X-Men goodies.
I went a little crazy last year, and Matt Impressed Comics, he did well. He
did all right. By the way, I wanted to shout out our buddy Manimal, Zach, who was just a guest of ours not too long ago. Zach, if you're watching this later, I did get the package you sent. So he's going to give away, or I have a couple giveaways from him as well, which I'll make sure to clarify and highlight again. But we appreciate some of the hardcovers he sent, which is really cool. So definitely, I didn't even open the box yet, but I have it here. So shout out to Zach, Milton the Manimal. All right, let's say a quick load of the chat, and then we'll get into things. This is good, John. I feel like, me doing a show before the show, I just feel like the energy just continues to flow, like Darrell, I apologize, because I feel like we just jumped in the backstage and then we jumped into live and I didn't even get to catch up with you, but I'm genuinely happy that you're here. So let's get into this. We have Matt Impress Comics, who's been hanging out with me since 7:30. So appreciate you, brother. Thanks for tuning in as always. We got Ryan Magic Lasso saying Hugh Jackman was about 40 minutes away from me today, and I didn't find out until tonight. What? Wow. What? Wow, man. Jealous. I did get to see him live at Radio City earlier this year or last year. So humble brag. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling here. I see everybody saying hi to people. Adam, make stuff up in the chat. What is going on, Adam? We got our guy, the Jackson Roy Kirk, hanging out with us as always. Get ready to drop that line, Roy Kirk. Let's see. We got our guy Tony Old Wolf 65 in the chat. What is going on, Tony? Let's see. We got my man Stevie Conlin Comics in the house as well. Conlin's going to be our guest next week. Be ready for that. We have a 4-issue breakdown next week for the Nightcrawler miniseries. So I didn't even start yet. I gotta get my reading in. I sent Conlin a reminder.
Yeah.
Okay. I sent him a reminder, but hey, just say, hey, heads up, it's coming, because we got 4 issues, so I don't want to creep up.
I've been doing the same.
Yeah. We got my man Gore Vidal, who was also just hanging out with me earlier for the Kendrick Lamar breakdown. Appreciate you. He says life and death brought to life the X-Men for me after Romita Jr. took over the book. Interesting. Yeah. Let's see, scrolling through, we got our good friend Candace Barbosa in the chat. What is up, Candace? I know we touched base. I think I got to get back to you, but I'll be in Chicago next week, for a tiny window. I don't know. Maybe we'll be able to meet. We'll see. I'll reach out again. She
was just on Gary B's channel talking Archie Christmas comics.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she loves her Archie. Very cool. All right, let's see. We got a Banff in the chat. Very nice. Some puff and smoke there. Okay. Again, appreciate everybody. Make sure you're subbed up to our good friends here and smash that like button. We're gonna dive right in because Yeah, that's what we're doing now. My mind's like everywhere right now. I'm like, you guys want to talk Kendrick Lamar somewhere, or
Yeah,
you want to
right.
talk Black Panther right now? We can do that too. All right, let's go with Life Death. This is part 2. Part 1 technically we covered in 2 seasons ago because that was volume 5 or 4. Sorry, 4. We're on 5 now.
I was here for that one too.
And then
You were.
Oh shoot! Oh, so that's even
Yeah.
more. Yeah, okay, that's just perfect how you line that up. Nicely done. So yeah, perfect issue to come back on. We know that in that one was all about her coping with her losing her powers initially. Kind of crazy. That was now 2 years ago that we had learned about it. Or
for the character, obviously only about a year in comics time, but
right. Right. But yeah, so let's start with the cover here and the artwork. John, I'll pass it to you. What was your initial thoughts on the artwork here?
It's obviously not your typical stuff, and so I can definitely understand mixed reactions. The same way we talked about Sienkiewicz on New Mutants last year, I think you can have a similar reaction to Barry Windsor Smith. But I always loved this cover. I always really liked this cover. There is something that's a fever dream about this, that really creepy set of, I think, just clouds is what it ultimately feels like to me. These crazy purple, black, it's like a literal storm behind storm. And then the sort of zombie pose that she's in there, like she's in some kind of a trance. If you had not read about her being shot in the head in previous issues, you could easily be confused as to kind of what this story means. And this cover doesn't give you any hints or ideas. But I looked at it the first time and I was like, this looks wild. I want to see what's going on here.
Yeah, well said. And you're right. Like, now thinking back, I do remember the times where I would be flipping through the issues, going in order at like Zap or at a show or something, and just seeing like these, and it just randomly hits to this one. It's like, oh, what's going on with Storm? Like, I had no context at this point, at least, before I got into reading these last 2 years of catching up to this point. But yeah, it does seem kind of random otherwise. But
she's in an outfit that she's not in the book at all. Like, this is not, she hasn't worn this outfit in a number of issues, so
that's a good point too. Darrell, what about you? What are your thoughts with this cover?
It's a standout, especially in this era of X-Men. I mean, all the Barry Windsor Smith covers are really, but it's like John was saying, it's like these like deep purples, and the clouds are just the rich textures of them, and then the logo too is like shot out, so you see the art going through the letters. You just get like the box shadow or whatever, and it's in that bright white, so it like really pops off too. And then even like their names on the covers, which they weren't really doing that much back then, putting creator names on the covers like that. It's almost like a paperback novel cover or something.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I definitely agree with you guys. I mean, this definitely stands out to me, and especially with just some of the covers that we've kind of had so far this season. I think, I was very excited to know that we were switching over to Barry Windsor Smith for a change up, and to know that we even get more of his work on the inside is even more exciting. So, I'm right there with you. Like I said, I thought I had bought this before. Actually, I guess it's very possible I do have a second copy somewhere, but I saw this one, and so I wanted to pick it up, especially knowing we were going to get into it tonight. Conlon says, love the trade on this cover. Yeah, absolutely. Candace says, I've seen this cover so many times, finally got to read it. Yeah, I'm excited to now have context to what goes on in this one. So, all right, cool. Well, let's dive in. Right off the bat. So Life Death Part 2, as we kind of mentioned earlier, starts with or the last time we saw Storm, she was shot and essentially left for dead. So she is wounded right now, and she's in the middle of the African desert, and with no food or water, and she was just dealt with an attack from these siblings that I can't even remember their names now, and that's all we really know. That was all we really got.
Yeah, the Fenris twins.
That's right.
Andrea and Andreas.
That's right. Oh yeah, I actually should know that because that's pretty easy to remember. But these are the seeds that Claremont's been sprinkling over the last 3 or 4 issues. And so yeah, we get this gorgeous splash page, her struggling, dealing with the wind that's hitting her in their face right now. And ultimately, she's going through a lot of stuff. She is still very much in pain, obviously. She's hallucinating, and she's questioning just her purpose. It's been ongoing for her now. This is why she came back to Africa, is because she wanted to figure out or find herself now that she doesn't have her powers, since she was shot by or not shot, or by the gun created by what's his name, Forge. And so, a lot has happened since then. So I also could see this being confusing for anybody who did just jump into this as well, because you're like, well, why don't you just fly away and call off all the things? And this is kind of what she gets, right? This first page, she feels the wind and she's like, I'm done. She says, be gone with the wind. And like for a second, like goes away. And so she thinks, oh, like, is this working? Do I have my stuff back? Am I good? Did I just do that? Can I make it rain now? And all these other things. And she's like, let me just try to fly. And then she falls. And sure enough, it's just all in her head. And that last page there, she even runs into, or I should say, Forge appears through this kind of sequence of events as she's walking through the desert, which obviously would be a really random thing for him to just appear. So, yeah. A lot going on. Some beautiful artwork. John, I'm going to throw it to you first. What are your thoughts on the initial opening scenes here?
I mean, it's definitely a roller coaster ride. Storm looks awful, and I'm not the kind of guy to be cheering that. But obviously that's the point, right? She's suffering. She's near death and near starvation, and there's a lot of really intense intensity to these pages and these panels. And Gore brings up something that Darrell kind of mentioned, which is the coloring, and in the reprints how bright these are. And it was very wise of him to have me bust the issue out, because it is a ton darker on the actual pages of the book. So the idea that this is really a dark psychological kind of tale that we're in, and you're watching somebody at a real low point in their life because of obviously losing her powers, but then also physically she's going through a trauma as well. And so I really enjoy this intro. I could understand people feeling like, again, it's very psychedelic. The background in this splash here is just lines, right? It's just line work, but it gives the sense of a sandstorm. It gives that sense to it. So I love it, but I can understand that we're jumping from sandstorm to blue sky to yellow background to blue sky to sandstorm. It's very kind of jarring, but I do think that's the purpose.
Yeah, well said. Darrell, what about you? What are your thoughts as you open this book through these first couple pages?
I mean, it's chaotic, and it's the figure work by Barry Windsor Smith is something that always takes me when I look at his books. Like the first Life Death that opened with the splash page of her like laying on the bed, I believe.
Yeah.
This one has her, standing but fighting against the elements that she's used to controlling. And like John said, it's like just the line work of the sandstorm. I mean, there's so much just ink being laid down on this page, but it's all crystal clear. You can tell what's happening throughout every one of these like little tight panels.
Yep. Yeah, well said. Yeah, like I said, just like I was very excited to just know that we're getting more into this artwork for a change. So I'm with you guys. Roy Kirk says, yeah, the paper makes all the difference with the colors. Yeah, I have to open my issue here in a little bit and try to compare. All right, let's keep it going. So yeah, we mentioned that we see that she runs into Forge conveniently and starts to have kind of a back and forth with him, where first she's happy to see him, and then she's got mixed feelings, and he's saying, you're injured, we got to get you out of here. What do you, let's take care of you. And then she quickly realizes, like, again, kind of where she is, and it's his fault that she's in this position to begin with, and starts to kind of, throw blame to him and anger. And then out of nowhere, she gets attacked by a snake. So now she's mixed and confused and scared. She ends up finding kind of this cave that she can run into to at least cover from the sandstorm. And then, of course, she runs into the team, the X-Men team, conveniently. As you can see, Shadowcat there in her outfit, along with everybody else, which we know, everybody really is scattered. We talked about this last episode, that a majority of the team is scattered. They're all kind of in their own missions right now. The original, at least the X-Men team that we've been reading over the years, has kind of been broken up in a sense, and there's a lot of new players involved. So that already, of course, is going to raise kind of question. But yeah, of course, she's just hallucinating. She's not sure what she's seeing. It all seems so real. And then, of course, right as she starts to grasp that again, because she's taking a lot of blame, by the way. She's taking blame on the idea of that it's their fault that she's where she is today, that Professor X kind of pulled her from all this. Again, angry with the whole Forge thing, and then she realizes it's a hallucination, but then she feels like she smells smoke, and it's Logan lighting up a cigar, which seems would be a very realistic thing, and he's offering to essentially kill her if she wants that, and she's debating that, and she's like, well, at this point it's almost like a setting depression in her mind of what she's dealing with, and not wanting to be there. And then again, Professor X kind of showing up there at the bottom, and her getting ready to choke him out. There's a lot going on here just in this hallucination. Darrell, what are your thoughts on, again, kind of how she's handling things?
A lot of this kind of felt like catching you back up on what happened in the first Life Death, at least the parts with Forge. Like you guys said, it's been almost 2 years since the previous one.
Yeah.
And then I love the way Barry Windsor Smith draws Wolverine, whether it's in costume or with his mask off, or the way he does the flowing hair. He really adds a lot of character in the way that Byrne did, I guess. There's just something about his body movements and stuff, or his body language is what I'm trying to say. And even though this is just a hallucination, it just all works so well. My only gripe really would be Jean is a little off model.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. John, what about you? What were your thoughts here, seeing Storm go through this?
I mean, it's great to let us in this early on the fact that this is full of hallucinations, right? Forge's appearance definitely hints at it, but then the snake bite, and you're like, no, wait, maybe this is real. And then you get the whole team, and Jean is there, who has been dead for a while and gone for a while. It's a wonderful way to kind of let us in on her mental state and where it's at. Obviously, the best part for me is that Wolverine moment when he's like, I've got an out for you. You want to die. I've got it. You say the word and this can all be over. And he's willing to do that for her. It's a moment of, if once you understand that it's a hallucination, these are all parts of her psyche talking to each other, right? These are all elements of her speaking to herself, her self-doubt, her self-hate, whatever it is, all those negative emotions, right? The mistakes in life, the grief for who she used to be, all these things playing out. Whether the snake is real or not, we can all kind of decide, but the other things are all parts of her psyche speaking to herself. And it's a powerful way to reveal the sort of negative spiral that she's in, and the way that is making the risk to her physical body worse.
Yeah, that's a great point. And even just the, we run into that last kind of corner page there, we run into her talking with Professor X specifically, and him saying, again, to your point of knowing that this is really technically stuff in her own head that she's kind of telling herself,
right?
Is him saying that you were safe, he says, as a baby in a mother's womb, had you remained, you would also have remained an infant and probably perished with the land. And so that in the truth that she hasn't accepted, it was really a good thing that Professor X had come and pulled her from what this was, because right. She's grown into the person that she's become. Even though technically she doesn't have powers right now, she still has become so much more grown and smarter and stronger, because of this stuff. And of course, sure. Going into this next set of pages, she jumps at him to say liar and doesn't want to hear it. But immediately, she goes right through him as it's an illusion, and she says, come back, and realizes she needs them. She doesn't want to be left alone. She's scared at this point. And then we even get another visit to the snake again. I was again, this is kind of questioning, like, is the snake real? Now we're seeing it twice. Like, kind of where are we at with that? It does seem like the snake goes away eventually, and then as we get into this middle page here, she continues on, and she ends up finding this wreckage of a bus of some sort. And runs over and quickly finds out that there's a pregnant woman, a young pregnant woman that's in the vehicle, and no one else is around. So she saves this woman, introduces herself. Her name is Shani, I think is how you pronounce it. And basically says, okay, like Storm realizes, look, between the two of us, you're probably in better condition than I am, believe it or not, knowing that she's still very much wounded and going through everything she's going through as well. So between the two, they're just trying to stay alive. So she helps her up, and they start moving. And during that time, just to take their mind off things, she asks Shani about herself and says, how'd you get here? And tell me a little bit about your background, which is a cool way to kind of get this character's background without having to go too in detail with anything. But you do get some really beautiful panels, especially on the far side. That whole page, I try to fit that whole page in this one of the moonlight and them as they walk and they're sharing these emotions. And every other panel is like a zoom into their faces, the way they're kind of holding each other, and then a zoom back out to the world and the perspective of the sky and everything as they sit around the fire. But yeah, you essentially learn that Shani is returning to her home or her hometown after leaving and trying to live life in the big city with I guess at the time her husband or I guess I think they said husband, and he carries her baby right now, and unfortunately the relationship didn't work out, and so she's been ashamed to return home for so long, and now she's pregnant, but she feels she has nowhere else to go, and that this is the only right move, and she's nervous that when she does return home, will they accept her, or they being her parents and her tribe, or will it go badly? And so that's why she was here to begin with, and the bus was just a freak accident that she so happened to be part of because of the bad weather. But and then they kind of carry on after they sleep through the night and learn more about each other. And they run into some stuff in the next page, which we'll get into. But John, I'll pass it back to you here with our introduction to Shani. What'd you think?
I mean, again, there's a lot of metaphor here, right? A lot of discussions around Storm's connection to nature. So the snake, the second time she sees the snake, she's not scared of it. It doesn't attack her. She recognizes it has its purpose, and I have my purpose. And if I am accepting it on its journey, it will accept me on mine. So now we're moving past fear, right? She is of her own volition, moving beyond just the abject fear that she's been feeling this whole time, that I'm going to die out here alone and nobody will remember me and nobody will find me. Now it's like, no, I am on my journey. It's on its journey. It's not here to destroy me. There's no violent force attacking me. It's just me in the world, as it always is. And then it's the little girl, like the young woman with a child, and it brings out the element of Storm that I think is most prevalent, which is her protector, right? She cares for people. She takes care of people, and it is instantly, she even references it a few times, her injuries are subservient to this person, right? She instantly places them ahead of her.
Yeah.
She takes on their burden and their near-death experience as her own and places her issues in the back burner. And I think it's powerful for her. It speaks to her character and my favorite qualities about her. Art-wise, you nailed it. That final panel with the sky with the stars and the solar system, and then the swirling storm in the sunset way in the distance, and then the rocks, and then the fire with them. It's stellar. It's stellar in the reprint. It's stellar in the real the real book right here. It is just gorgeous. It's my favorite panel in the book, and speaks to the isolation, the nature of it all, being out in the wilderness. I love all of it. The metaphors are really strong.
Yeah. Well said. Darrell, what about you? What were your thoughts here as we get this new character introduction and really hearing the back and forth between her and Storm, what they're going through?
Are these the pages where Storm mentions how she felt like the girl was braver than her, or is that coming up?
Yes. Yeah, that is the far page.
And it did give me pause to think, especially with the conversation with Xavier on the previous page, that it was, I never really, Storm always felt like a very strong character, like from the very beginning of the X-Men. But here you're getting this like new perspective of like, really when Xavier found her, she was kind of like scared and innocent to leave her what was familiar to her at that time. You know, she was a goddess,
Right.
and people looked like they were worshiping her.
Yep.
And here comes this guy like, hey, come with me to bigger things. And like, why would she really, you know? But it was like her fear of the unknown kept her there to be a goddess. And you're getting this new perspective of like, she was scared to leave at that time, even though she had all that power and was worshipped and everything. And you really realize like how young she actually was back in Giant Size X-Men #1, and how much she's grown to this point, which has probably been about 5-6 years since like of her character growing.
Great point. Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting perspective to get out of just these couple of pages.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's keep going here. As the morning approaches and they wake up and they discover these. I mean, it looks like machinery and kind of almost abandoned though, and everything's changed as the girl realizes, and the technology that's kind of been introduced to their lands. She kind of goes into a little bit of that, but they do arrive at Shawnee's home, and it's interesting because we right away when they first kind of walk up, she immediately sees her parents, but her parents don't even say anything. They kind of are just quiet as she first even speaks, and they don't say a word. But then the I guess they call him the law speaker or the leader of the group. I don't know how you pronounce the elder's name is Minari, Mjnari. I'll say Minari. And he's the one that comes out to speak. And he basically clears the air, says, "You have been missed, Shawnee. To both you and your companion, I offer water, salt, bread, and fire." And luckily, because they were both in really bad shape, so they'd be screwed if they did say you're not welcome here. At this point, we probably wouldn't have Storm anymore. So that was crucial in and of itself. But they do get taken in and kind of divided in that set, or we'll get into the next set of pages. But thoughts here, Darrell, I'll throw it to you on not that much has happened here, but just kind of the transition and starting to see a little bit of the culture of where Shawnee comes from.
This machinery is like so imposing in that first big panel of it. Like it took me a second to realize like, oh, this is just farm equipment, because it's it's X-Men. So you're like, is this some kind of like
alien
leftover thing, leftover technology from Magneto? Like what is it? And then you realize like, oh, this is just farming equipment. But the way it's drawn in this perspective is meant to make it extra imposing.
Like extra futuristic compared to
And like you said, it is meant to be abandoned, which is kind of setting the tone for like what you see in this village. And of course they're talking about how like I think Storm points out like this is sand, but you can tell there used to be like topsoil here. And it's kind of been wiped out, which at this time like famine in Africa and stuff like that was like a big topic in the news. Like what was it, Farm Aid, or what was the one, like a big concert thing in the late 80s that was to like
I can't remember all of them. There were
it was like about an aid, like with food aid in Africa basically. And so I have a feeling that like that was inspiring some of this part of the story, or this like
subplot. Are you talking about like with Queen and everybody?
Live Aid.
Yeah, Live Aid.
Live Aid. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
What's up, Rod? Rod the Rican in the chat.
So, like all of that was just kind of feeling very like, I don't want to say dated, but like of the time of when the story was written.
Sure. Relevant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. John, what about you? What are your thoughts here? Anything with the artwork and everything?
I mean, it's dynamic. You're really getting a sense of the isolation, right? The idea that these machines loom heavily over this area in Africa and have had a devastating impact, as we learn, on this tribe in particular, that is sort of the last holdouts to this situation. And then, of course, when they come into the village, the way that he draws them and isolates people out and segregates the sections of the panels has an impact on how we're feeling this concern of, will they take their lost sister back, this daughter who has left, or how will they respond to Storm, and will it be in time for either one of them or the baby?
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, let's get into this next bit, because this really does. I mean, this is a lot kind of happens here, and I don't know exactly the time sequence, but we go right into Storm kind of reawakening. I don't know if it's been a few days. I don't know. Does it clarify that? I guess not.
She says, "Is it night? How long have I slept?" And he says, "Nowhere near enough to fully heal your wounds."
Yeah, so she's still healing from everything. Yeah. So yeah, I would imagine like a day or so had at least gone by, but at this point, I thought this was really interesting to see how she comes out of the hut that she's in. She's asking kind of, what's happening right now and why did you wake me? And it turns out that Shawnee is having her baby, and it's not going great. And she sees, everyone doing these rituals, dancing around the fire, which the color work was just fantastic here. I really love seeing just in these next to Darrell's face there, like just the some of the darker shadows of the bonfire that's shooting out was really beautiful. So Storm gets this opportunity to help Shawnee give birth to her baby, and she, quite frankly, I mean, she's nervous. She's like, I don't know what to do. I don't really have a background in doing this. What can I do to help? And they're like, no, like, I didn't clarify this earlier, but they did call her Wind Rider. They knew who she was, right?
Just the
elder,
the leader, right? Okay, yeah.
The lost speaker is the only one that clearly identifies her for who she is,
and I wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
So he goes, yeah, like he basically throws her in there, and Shawnee herself is saying, I hear my son crying with me, and Storm's like, well, I have some training, but I'm no physician. And Shawnee says he's scared, Aurora. He doesn't want to die. He wants to be born. And she says she shall. So just like this, like real heavy moment of, even though she feels powerless, and I think, again, this ties into a lot of other things that Storm's been dealing with, of quote unquote feeling powerless or not being able to help, but she steps up anyways. And in the far set of panels there, and I actually combined a couple of pages there, but this whole sequence was absolutely gorgeous of seeing the back and forth between Storm assisting Shawnee, helping give birth, while it goes back and forth with every other panel of what's going on in the evening, of everybody doing the ritual, the dancing around the fire. I mean, I felt like I was there just kind of going panel by panel with this, which I thought was just fantastic. And really no words for some of these pages, at least one whole full page, which I think I have half of there, was no words, which is just well done for, I appreciate that, especially for this time period, which we didn't get a lot of it was, as we know, Claremont throwing in bubbles after bubbles after bubbles. Here, he let the story be told out of just the artwork. So I do appreciate that. And then with success, the son is born. And at first they're nervous. Why doesn't he cry? Why can't I hear him crying? And Storm says he's not breathing. And Storm eventually, I don't know what this may represent, but for her to be hugging the baby and saying breathe, believing breathe, to have this baby be okay, but it turns out that the baby lives, and that it turns out okay. So anyways, curious what your guys' thoughts were here. This is probably more artwork side of things than anything else, but still a very heavy moment. So Darrell, I'll throw it to you. What were your thoughts going through these pages?
Well, artwork wise, I mean, the lighting in these scenes is just fantastic. Going back to that other panel from a few pages ago that you guys both were, discussing when she was like by the, I guess she didn't have a campfire or whatever, but it's just something throughout the issue that I feel like he's really nailed. And then, of course, the baby too actually looks like a baby, which a lot of cartoonists and comics seem to struggle with that kind of stuff.
It's a good point. Yeah.
but I mean, it looks like a newborn baby too. It's tiny. It's like just in her hands,
right,
teeny tiny, and there's like a lot of emotion in this whole scene here. So it's pretty incredible.
Babies, you just draw little old men, right? That's how you do it. It's just a little old man. John, what about you? What were your thoughts going through these pages?
I think you hit a nail on the head there with the lack of word balloons in a lot of the sequence. It creates a sense of editing. It creates a sense of flow of sound, even though there is no sound on those pages. It's almost like you can hear drums and you can hear wood crackling in a fire and you can hear chanting and you can hear these things that are not given words, right? They're not given space to make sound except other than in a drawing. It's very moving and very captivating. And of course, the birth, possibly stillborn death of a child is at stake here. There's a lot of things happening here. And in the background, the more I've reread this issue, the more I'm intrigued by the law speaker character in the tribe here, because the instant they return, he recognizes something that he's going to have to play out the rest of the way.
Yep.
And therefore, he puts that weight right on Storm. He puts it on Aurora, like plainly right off the bat, as like, hey, we're having these problems and you got to do something and, you're going to do it. Because he knows who she is. He knows what she's capable of. He knows how she literally blessed rains in Africa for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he expects nothing less than for her to breathe life into this child and knows that that she's capable of it, even if she completely doubts it. Right. I have no abilities. I have no whatever. No, I know innately what you can accomplish. And I need you to do it, even though it damns me. Right. It's a wonderful, on the reread, he's an interesting character all the way through this bit. I wanted to ask you, though, Justin, because I mentioned at the beginning that this book, being a Barry Windsor Smith drawn comic, is incredibly divisive. And I know that you seem over the years of doing this and doing other shows with you, seem to be someone who's very comfortable with artwork not having to look the same just because it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always got to look like Spider-Man or whatever, right? But I know that this book turns a lot of people off. They look at Storm and she doesn't look sexy like she's always. They're not making a bombshell out of her in this comic. She's gorgeous, but not in the way that she's usually drawn. And I know that it turns a lot of people off, and I'm not opposed to that. I understand, you want your Spider-Man or whatever to look a certain way, and you want your X-Men to look a certain way, and I have no I'm not shaming anybody, but I do think it's interesting how divisive it is. And I was just curious if you had any moments reading through this where, because there is an element of maybe grotesquerie to kind of what Barry Windsor Smith does here. And I didn't know if you had that reaction to some panels where you're like, oh, that is, she's got blood coming down her face and she's stumbling through the desert. Or in this case, this sort of not graphic birth, but there is a very clear birth happening on screen here. Or on panel here. I didn't know what your reactions were as you read it.
Yeah, no, it's a great question and a great point. I feel like it didn't cross my mind once to think anything out of what I would expect from Barry Windsor Smith and from from just the storytelling aspect of it. Like it's this rawness to me. His style is different in that way. And I personally think it's just a lot better than what we've kind of gotten through Ramita it's just kind of
yeah.
I mean, it's been a roller coaster, Ramita. I don't know. To me, this feels like this all fits so well, and especially knowing the scenario, the situation that she's been in, and the emotion that kind of weighs in these pages of just there's so much bigger stuff, that's just diving into it. And I think it just paints that perfect picture. And even going back to what you said, like at this era, I don't know how often it really was given, artists had the shot to have a full page with no words on it, like I'm curious when that did start to shift to kind of where we are today, like, having where artists, where there's no word bubbles that just say, I'm going to jump over there so that I land there. And then, it shows them jump over there.
I think it depended on the skill of that artist. I know that Miller had sections in his Daredevil run that were kind of like that, would have predated this.
Probably
right, and obviously Windsor Smith, this is his second shot at this story, right? And he definitely pushed on the envelope in Forge's psychedelic apartment last time when we had them together. And there's a great Wolverine storyline that he's done, the Weapon X storyline that I don't know if will ever be in any of these Omnis that we're reading, but is also a really great sort of psychedelic style to his stuff. I know what Gora said, a realistic drama is certainly what's playing out is a drama. For me, it's the psychological spiritual side to this that Barry Windsor Smith draws away a deeper meaning to the reality of the drama that's happening because of her injured state at the beginning. I think it adds this dream-like nightmare scenario kind of to it that for me elevates the story and isn't just simply like a realistic kind of a drama. For me, it's something a little more spiritual, a little more psychological.
No, I like it. No, well said. Our guy Bobby's in the chat. He says, "Storm sexy." That's right. Good to see you. Roy Kirk says, "Yeah, I want my Storm to look like Spider-Man." Exactly.
Spider Storm.
I do find what you're saying about it looking almost grotesque. This is definitely in I think Barry Windsor Smith has even referred to it as his skeletal piece when he was drawing. I mean, it's like the figures are very gaunt, and I mean some of that is I think meant to reflect the famine issue,
right,
Storm's like general condition. But in general, like especially in this era, he does tend to draw women a little more, I don't want to say masculine, but kind of androgynous, I guess. And to like some comic fans, I guess that's
sure,
they're women to just be shells constantly.
And I think there's room for all of it, right? It's not like it has to be one or the other. It should suit ideally the story that you're trying to tell, and in this case, it for me really does. But I also understand that not all art is for everybody. Being a Silver Surfer Black fan, I understand that that's just not everybody's jam. But this for me, I think I vaguely remember the first time I read it not being able to take it all in and not being able to get it. But I read it and I was probably 10 or 11. Reading it as an adult every time, it feels richer each time I go through it. So I was just curious, first time through, how some of that reaction for you.
I was more just taken away by the coloring and the style of it. To me was an attraction for me to get more into it, just from the emotion I feel like it gave. So no, it's a great point that you bring up, because it's interesting to me to hear this too, like to some people this is just not for them, or they don't like it, or whatever. I know we've had other artists in the past, like Bill Sienkiewicz, another one who to me I think is like perfection, and there are others who are not a fan of that.
But then even in his New Mutants last season, we had issues where we're like, this is perfection, 10 out of 10, and then another one that he would do and we'd be like, I don't know, the wheels came off of the Sienkiewicz bus here.
That's a good point.
Nobody is perfect. Obviously, it's artwork. There's no such thing. But like, I think it's an example of these things being incredibly subjective, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Big hello to Kenneth Bird in the chat. Good to see you, Kenneth. All right, let's keep this going. I think we're kind of diving into the. Did I get to the last? Oh no, we have a couple more. So after the birth is given, they rejoice and celebrate. Shani is very appreciative and obviously happy for the health of the child. And then, as you said, John, the leader, who's very very like direct, but also is like secretive and just basically says, hey, this is all great. Life is a miracle that never ceases to amazes me. Now, if you'll excuse me, there is one last duty I must perform. And he just kind of walks off, and Storm's like, hey, wait a second, where are you going? These middle pages kind of show more of the celebration, showing the tribe, and also just giving a little bit of in depth of what, it says before there was hope. The people sang to give Shani strength and courage. The music, their voices mixed triumph and celebration with sadness. It was like a blend of things. I think that does a nice job of keeping you in that emotion of what just happened and where the people stand right now. But again, Storm ends up chasing the guy down, not really chasing, he's walking very slowly, I'm sure, but follows the elder and starts to ask, what's going on, where are you going? And I think in this page is where he talks about I don't know if
it's kind of the end of this page and the beginning of the next one is what he kind of explain, but she catches on pretty quick to what he's kind of saying. Because at the very end, her last word balloon right above your gift there says, so for every child that is born, and then on the next page it says a place must be made, is what he says. So it's kind of like across these pages, but this is just the bit where she's trying to put it together as he's like, it doesn't really concern you. You did your part, I've got to do my part. And he's just kind of taking his walk, and she's refusing to acknowledge it. Right.
Yeah. Right. And I'll jump onto this other side, because you're right, this whole kind of ending flows kind of into each other here. So as they go through the sequence of events, and she learns that this is his time to give himself up, now that there's this new child that's been born and is now part of their community. This is life. This is what they believe in, and this is his time. And at first kind of struggling with grasping that, she comes around to getting the understanding of like his responsibility, and in turn kind of finds herself, which is this whole goal of hers that she's been trying to do this entire time, is trying to find herself in all this. I also think the artwork, I know we've been talking a lot about the artwork, but like it was just so gorgeous, like through and through, with the lighting and the backgrounds of the fields, and I don't know if that's partially the lighting of the skies or just I know they were walking away from the fire before. I didn't know if some of it was from that. We see the grass and everything else, but curious to hear how you guys thought of this, and especially kind of the ending here. John, I'll pass it back to you here for these last few pages.
To Darrell's point, this is a much more vibrant version of the color work than is in the original comic. It's far more muted. You still have the color and the bright and dark, but as far as the vibrancy of all the different colors, it's exaggerated here in a way that I don't know that perhaps Barry Windsor Smith may have intended. I think he wanted it to seem like heightened reality versus fantasy, perhaps. Maybe that's a subtle distinction. But the drama here is definitely Storm realizing some things, and there's some really great dialogue in here where she said, when she realizes the problem, she says, I'm sorry, if not for me saving Shani and her child, you would not have to die. And then his response is very Yoda-like to her. He's like, do you understand nothing?
Yeah.
Better by far to say that because of you, a life has been born. My day is done, Aurora, but Shani's baby represents hope and a chance for the future and a new beginning. That is what makes us a good way to die. That, Windrider, is why we celebrate. And then she says, not I. I shall mourn the passing of a friend I hardly knew. Like, really just quality Zen almost kind of stuff happening here. Really powerful.
Yeah.
It's a heavy story, I think. And, when it lands in the middle of this superhero run, which the first Life Death kind of is too.
Yeah.
just the work, like look how those fingers are intertwined, the way they're holding hands. Like how many artists pull something like that off?
Yeah.
And then this final page is juxtaposed with the first page.
Yes.
Where she's fighting the wind, and it's all the line work of the sandstorm. And here she's standing upright, and the wind is more gently blowing her clothes.
Yeah.
But you still have the line work of, like, I guess it's like the sun coming up.
Maybe.
And it's like a new dawn on
new day. Yeah.
On her, and her coming to terms with, her place without her powers, finally coming to terms with it.
Yep. Yeah, well said, and good point about the kind of the opposites of that splash page from the beginning. I'll have to put that side by side later, because both of them are beautiful in their own right.
Yeah.
But yeah, well said. I mean, this was I agree, a very, very emotional story, and one that was very relevant in that, yes, we get these new characters and this kind of side story compared to the grand scheme of superhero stuff that we've been getting. But at the same time, it's one of my favorite reads so far, what we've gone through here. It's like, of course it's Storm, and anything that has to do with her, just want to know more about, her story, and to know that this is a big part of it during the time in which she doesn't have her powers, is huge. I mean, just huge character building blocks, and just, knowing more of where she comes from now, and especially I'm super curious to know, as she does return to the team, and what that's going to look like, and to maybe one day have her powers back, if that ever happens, all these things. So a really, really great read. I thought it was a great tie-in.
And to your point, like, as far as this being foundational to her character, I think in a lot of ways, you mentioned, I think, this concept that Xavier mentions to her of being like pulled out when she was really young, and living a life maybe that was difficult, but where she was revered, and where she was respected, and she had this power over the people around her that treated her like a god, though she clearly was not. Then she comes to Xavier's school and learns about the greater world and the good she can do on a larger scale.
Yeah.
Now she's lost all that, and she's gone back home, and she's still trying to find her place. And it's kind of like, what intrinsically defines her, or in anybody.
Yeah.
Right. And in this case, helping an injured person and bringing a child into the world and breathing life into it, literally, right, gives her this sense of belonging, but a sense of connection, because she's always cared about every living thing, every plant, every person has value. Right. And it's been an ongoing feeling that she's had, and it needed to be given, importance in this moment where she felt so low physically, spiritually, all these things. And there's a ton of great dialogue here in these last 3 pages talking about, the modern world and technology, and the old world and tradition, and blending these things together so that they both have continued meaning and value, and where does she fit in this whole thing, and how does she connect to it all? It's big, heady stuff that I think is important for where she's at, because she's broken in so many ways. And I think it highlights it nicely, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I also think she's like the perfect person to kind of be able to combine these worlds, because of her experiences and knowing what she started with, and where she's been, and the people she's surrounded herself with, the different, advanced technologies and everything, and traveling in space and all these other things. She's really had a taste of both, both worlds in that regard too, which again just is another reason why she's the best. So by the way, shout out to Kenneth Bird, who says he's turning 66 tomorrow. It's going to be his birthday. Happy birthday, Kenneth. It was a great one. 66. That's awesome. Yeah, congratulations.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, big one. All right. Before we go into the numbers and everything else, I had to double check. Let's do final thoughts here and grades, as we normally do on a CGC scale. So John, I'll pass it to you first. What are your any final thoughts, and what's your grade here? And people in the chat, feel free to throw in the chat there how you would grade this this issue as well.
I mean, I obviously have a 9.8 right there. And it's very hard not.
You pointing at me, John? That's so nice. That's
I
so
mean, yeah, buddy. It's hard not to give this
Tony, you're right.
an abysmally high score, like a shockingly high score.
Yeah.
I think it does have some flaws, some faces that are like, well, that's a little odd. That's I don't know that captures quite what he's going for. So it's imperfect, but like all art is invariably. So yeah, I'm gonna go 9.8 on this. For me, I really enjoy it, and I always find new things when I come back to it. I always feel like it is enriching when I return. Hence the fact that I've got it in an omnibus, I've got it in a hardcover, I've got it in single issues, I've got this dang book,
a couple copies
in a slab now. It's all around at this point for me. I can't seem to escape it. And I just, again, for a character that I love this much, to be given such prominence by such talented writers and artists that really bring out the moment that she's in, right? This is a character that has a lot of evolution across all the years that she's been in comics, and this is a linchpin moment for her psychologically, right, and spiritually. So it's a big winner for me.
Yeah, I love that. Love it. Love the grade. By the way, before I throw it to you, Darrell, I just want to highlight a couple things. Gore said, I can hear Nina Simone's "I am feeling good" and in my mind looking at these pages. Yeah, for sure. Also wanted to say a quick hello to JSS. I missed you earlier. Thanks for swinging by here. Hope all is well. And I think impressed that he would give it a 9.8 for him. I've always been surprised at how affordable both parts of the story is. That's a great point. I know I need to slow down. I don't know.
I've been asking him long-winded questions, and I've just been not shutting up all night. I've been trying my best.
Darrell, what are your final thoughts here, and how would you grade this on a CGC?
Well, I can't do the CGC, but I'll give it the near mint, because I mean, like I said at the beginning, this is a pure Barry Windsor Smith book, and you cannot just take that for granted, like pencils, inks, colors. And I mean, he had a heavy hand in the story too. Him and Claremont worked pretty well together in their limited collaborations. And it goes to show, like you guys pointed out, Claremont would let this kind of breathe and didn't feel the need to like add extra verbose narration, word balloons, thought balloons. It's there, but like in that wordless page you mentioned, that's a page that Claremont would happily throw in word balloons describing the drum beats and the fire bristling in the back, and he didn't. And it's because he saw what BWS just brings to this, and it is shocking how cheap this issue is to get, probably just because there's so many. I mean, X-Men was the top selling book at this time. There's just tons of copies, but that doesn't stop some things from being like a $15-$20 book, but you got it for $3 the other day, Justin. So
yeah,
I mean it's good for everybody that can go out and get it.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say a good thing that books aren't judged on pricing based on how good of a read they are. I'm right there with you guys. And by the way, I was gonna say, Darrell, for the part with how you said, like Chris Claremont easily could have just thrown in words in that one set of those pages. Mm-hmm. I also could see him easily, if he had, if he wanted to, he could be like, you know what, let's throw in a let's see what Spider-Man's up to with Cloak and Dagger, and like have this other, like random,
like an extra page of,
just like a random right or the Power Pack, off the Power Pack. Here, where are they now? TM Nerdy in the chat, what's going on, TM? Good to see you. All right. Well, I'm with you guys. I mean, I'm glad that you guys have phrased everything the way you did. I wasn't sure if I was shooting too high there for a 9.8 myself. This is damn near perfect. So I'm going to go with a 9.8. And I really did love this. I feel like I got to catch up to John's collection of collections of this book, because damn, it is a great one. And between this and part one, the two of them together, that's something I would like to ask Chris next time I meet him, is to just say, what was it like working with Barry Windsor Smith, and for your time with him, and Darrell, as you pointed out, the little work that they've done together compared to other artists, especially, kind of what was it like, or did he have an opinion of the guy in any way? Yeah, so no, I'm with you guys. Let me just scroll back up, see if I saw Gore said that it is a masterpiece. He said, give this a solid 10 with white pages. Love to hear it. Bobby said, with a Storm white hair pages, I assume a 9.8 is what he's saying there. So yeah, good stuff. Cool. Well, all right, let's real quick, let's get into the numbers here. Key elements, obviously the newborn murders an elder is what I took from this whole thing. So and then also Storm finds her purpose. 9.8s are going fair market value on Go Collect for $75. There's a lot of them though, for sure, 237. So maybe, as you guys pointed out, there definitely are a lot of these just in general, let alone 9.8s. And then 9.6 is going for 44 and so on and so forth. But I think for me, this would probably be something I wouldn't necessarily need to get slabbed. I mean, the cover is gorgeous, and if you find a great deal for it, John, like you did, heck yeah, shoot.
I paid $750. Isn't that right? Is that
what you, yeah, sorry, I cut the zeros off. But yeah, I mean, definitely from a reader perspective, want to have this thing to open up. But
sure.
Any thoughts here from any of you guys with anything here?
No, I think the price, I'm surprised how low it is, but I know like in the key era that we live in, it's not, there's no like mega first appearance or something like that in it, which ultimately
did you come up with those key elements, or is that something that
yes, that was me.
That's on the slab. It's right there on the slab.
I was wondering why I didn't get a chuckle out of Darrell at first when I said that.
It took me a second because I was looking over at the other side. I just saw that newborn bird.
When I saw how cheap they were, I was like, well, I'm just gonna wait and snipe somebody on one of these things and just get like a steal on it, because why not? It's not like I don't have 5 or 6 other ways to read this at any given point.
Yeah, exactly. Right? All right. Well, so one last thing that we do before we get into the questions, stay with us, everybody in the chat, because we do have our questions. But of course, we Darrell, we've introduced a kind of a MVP. Who's your MVP of the week, or MVP key player of the issue? So I did throw some potential choices, whether it be the snake that attacked Storm. Was the snake really there? Maybe not. Maybe it was the elder, the leader. That's the MVP of the week. Maybe it's Wolverine with offering to kill his friend, because that's what friends do. Or it was the mom and dad who really didn't say a word throughout any of this issue. Maybe they're the MVP, or even Forge kind of randomly showing up, or Storm. Maybe it's Storm. John, who's your MVP this week?
So good. I mean, it's so funny. I'm gonna call an audible and steal from someone in the chat earlier who said the MVP has to be Barry Windsor Smith.
Ooh.
And I agree. That's the best answer to that question. I had to go back during this stream. I was watching the last time we were all together talking the previous issue, and I gave that damn book a 9.6. God, John, I want to go back. I want to go back and knock that guy on the side of the head. Although it's possible that issue had a lot of other stuff in it, not focused on Storm, and this one is a very linear story focused on her. So maybe I'll give it the edge, but I want to go edit that.
Wait, were you drinking that night, John?
Here's the joke for the people in the chat teasing Justin about how timely he is tonight. I hosted the last one, and it was almost 2 hours long. Yeah. One comic, one. So if I had hosted tonight, you guys would have gotten a 2-hour Storm discussion of Barry Windsor Smith. So
and boys and girls strap in for next week, because John's got 4 issues. So
I've got 4 issues. Yeah, the slideshow's 24 pages long already.
I took off that following Wednesday just because I knew we were going to bleed into Wednesday. Sorry. Oh yeah, so you went with Barry Windsor Smith. Darrell, any MVP to you for this issue?
Oh man, well that BWS is like probably the easy answer. I would say the elder, though, really, because the elder's kind of the one. I mean, well, he sacrifices himself more, wills himself to death.
Right.
That's a thing, right? But also in that, he has like the moment with Storm that gives her purpose. So, and snaps her out of her powerless funk that she's in. So I would give it to him.
Love it. I'm going to go with the snake because it's very rare that anybody can bump heads with Storm and survive. So for that snake to get away,
so good,
pretty good. Yeah. So there you go. There you have it. Yeah. Let's get into the questions. Man, look at us. We're flying here, John. Flying. So as you guys know, we're going to ask 4 questions tonight. These are all questions based on last episode. We are looking for 2 people to say the correct answer in the chat. If you are one of those 2 people, you will get your name on the board, essentially a point that'll go towards our prize wheel at the end for our giveaways, including what we showed earlier from the Fraim brothers. And then, of course, we're looking for 1 incorrect answer. If you have something funny, something that you want to throw a spin on as far as an answer to make Darrell laugh, because Darrell is going to choose who he thinks is the most entertaining answer of all the incorrect answers per question.
Right.
So be ready for that. So, John, I will throw it to you first for your first question.
Yeah, I sent a list of answers to this first question that you could pick to be correct. As we mentioned, 2 correct answers, but we want the wrong answers as well. So any of those correct ones that I sent to Justin will qualify as a correct answer to this question. But name something at the beginning of this issue that haunted Peter's dreams. Colossus has some pretty nightmarish moments in the first few pages. Pick one. What is one thing that haunts Peter Colossus's dreams?
And there's the line, the famous line, thanks to Roy Kirk.
Jackson Roy Kirk. It's funny. I wrote down notes so that I could remember funny things to ask for questions from last time. Yeah. And I don't know what the notes mean anymore. I'm looking at them. I wrote space mattress, which I don't know what space mattress means, but it sounds hilarious.
Space mattress. For last episode?
For last episode. I also wrote down Arcade Island, which I think I realized what that means, but has to do with the Epstein-like quality that our friend Arcade was covering last time. Lots of funny answers here.
All right, yeah, let me scroll back here.
Yeah, I got one.
Freddy Krueger. I like it. The Golden Girls. I like it. Cyclops dating Katya. Yeah.
Very concerning.
The tractor accident. Oh, that's actually
that's a correct answer.
Yeah, that's actually correct. Let's see. All his girlfriends. Yeah.
I mean, that's accurate.
That
is accurate.
Oh yeah, okay, that's with the mattress. Okay, I couldn't remember before, but now that rings a bell. Mattress blocks the hole in the ship. John, which one did you have? Who were the first?
Yeah, it's the first 2 answers, I think, after the start line. I'm going. That's the name of the woman from Secret Wars that he fell in love with, and Conlon just says ex-girlfriend, which does qualify. So I'm going with Lasso and Conlon.
Yep.
Which I think, Stevie, that's your first one.
Nice. Conlon is on the board. Bobby says Rust.
It is concerning.
Sweet oil. Matt says having an itch and not being able to scratch it or reach it. Sounds brutal.
It's troublesome.
His Savage Land swining days.
I think he meant swinging.
Swinging days.
He was a swinging.
Liliana attaching school art to him with a magnet.
Oh, like he's the fridge at home. That's
that,
pretty damn funny. I like the visual of that.
Bobby, did I miss you?
What's up, Travis? TM is in the chat.
Did I said hi to TM?
Did you? Okay.
Did I miss? Bobby said I missed his, or did I? Oh, okay. I highlighted Rust, and then
I saw Rust and his sister, which is a correct answer.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's a correct answer.
It's just behind.
He was just third. He came in third.
Got it. Travis answers John's Comics with Friends. There you go. Work if he's anything like me, he dreams about work. Darrell, any thoughts? Whoa, we got Tessa in the chat. What's going on, Tessa?
Hey, Tessa.
I don't know if you said Magic Lasso. So I love John Romita Jr.
Yeah.
I know that he gets a lot of flack for this era of his X-Men run. But Magic Lasso did make me laugh when he said he was having a nightmare about John Romita Jr.'s art.
Okay. There it is. Did I miss that one? I feel like that's
double point for Lasso.
They're under Bobby's Rust.
Oh, okay. My bad. Ryan?
But that one,
Oh yeah. Okay, JRJ. Nicely done. All right. Let's see. My first question is, what did Nimrod do to the criminals that tried to rob everyone? There was a scene, I think they were in a restaurant. What did Nimrod do to these criminals that tried to rob everyone? They were very excited. And it was with our good friend Jaime, who's been a long time being involved with X-Men stories in the last 2 years.
That darn Jaime back again.
Yeah. What did I text you, John? I specifically wrote.
Let me go back to your messages. Sorry, I only screenshotted my own.
All right, so I'm going. I'm gonna go with what I had sent John, which is that he melted them, and we do have a couple melt. That was a specific because we did highlight that.
Yeah,
it was more of a melt than anything else, which was kind of over the top brutal. So Adam Makes Stuff Up has melted them, and Matt Impress Comics also has melted them. Those are the first two I see there for that. Bobby's asking why he keeps being third. I don't know. Stop doing that, Bobby. Don't have done that, Bobby.
Upgrade that internet. Reboot
that. Yeah, that's
reboot
right.
the stream.
Just read our minds ahead of time, and just answer. Ryan says that he danced the limbo with them. That'd be great. Ooh. I could see him using his powers to set up a limbo setup. Candace said he just did unspeakable things. I mean, it is pretty unspeakable. He trapped them in the Phantom Zone with Zod.
Neil.
Some DC love there. So he talked to them about Life Death Part 2 coming up next. Adam said arrested them and gave them a participation award while waiting for the police. I love the detail.
Bobby's answering the next question. He's like, I'm just going to answer ahead. He's going to answer out.
Yeah, that's good. That's close, Bobby. I did think of that as part of one of my questions. Darrell, anything that you like there? Travis said took them to see Terrifier 3.
Well, being a Superman fan, I'm going to go with the Phantom Moon.
There it is. I knew he'd get you there. TM playing to his judge. Smart man.
Second point for TM on the board.
There you go. All right, John, what's your next one?
Yeah, my last question has to do with the fancy dinner that Arcade sets for Kitty and Colossus. It gets interrupted by what? What is it that interrupts the fancy dinner with Arcade? It doesn't take long either. That scene is like, hi, welcome to the party, and then interruption.
This is a layup. This is a layup for some really good answers.
For some comedy. Yeah.
There's the line. The line is officially out, folks.
And I'll take those first two answers. I think the Hunter Seeker is the type of rocket, or it's a rocket. Like I'll accept.
Yeah,
that's like right off the bat.
Yeah, look at
Adam and Old Wolf.
Candace starting out with Rachel Dinners. I like it.
That's a classic.
I like it.
She does.
I'm gonna highlight this one because this was given to us in advance. So Bobby says the Dr. Doom train is what interrupts the dinner. I like it.
We have a start line here for a reason, Justin. Are you shaming Jackson Roy Kirk's hard work in our chat?
I just feel bad, Bobby's can't shut down with the third in place.
He's got a very good comedy answer. I think you can highlight the Jehovah's Witness rings the doorbell.
Let me scroll through here. Oh yeah, here we go.
That's a winner for me. That's a very funny joke right there.
That's a good one. Let's see the
Sham Wow guy. Yep.
What was his saying? Man, he had I forget what
he had a catchphrase.
Yeah, he had a catchphrase. I can't remember what it was now. Maybe TM will remember. I came in like a wrecking ball. I came in like a wrecking ball.
That'll do it.
Yep.
I think that one's gonna win unless something else comes in.
His pager went off. Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Champagne cork that went wild. That always happens. They didn't have any Grey Poupon. Yeah.
That'll really frustrate people.
I mean, a
mean
game
game of
footsie
footsie.
got out of control. I like
Yep.
that. Darrell, which one were you saying?
The Wrecking Ball. Let's give the points there to Conlon Comics.
All right,
Conlon. I like the
it's heating up.
is it ShamWow guy says, "Here, take my nuts." What are you talking? Matt's just like making up crazy stuff here.
No, he had a phrase though.
I don't think that's the one.
No, it's not, that's not
the one.
I didn't see that episode, Matt.
Oh goodness.
All right, my last question of the evening. Pretty simple. What was Arcade celebrating this whole time? This was all for a celebration. The whole reason that this trickery was happening. And we find out why it was going on and why the certain individuals were behind it. And there it is. So we got, it was his birthday. It was his birthday. Adam makes stuff up, and Old Wolf, Tony, spelling the word right. Look at that. Perfect. All right, that goes to those two guys. They're simply, he said, hey, he asked his assistant, he goes, hey, for my birthday, I just want you to try to kill me. And let's see if these two mutants can help. He was celebrating his divorce. Ooh. TM says, yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes that is something to celebrate. Let's see. Bobby said he was still celebrating that he reads his comics. Oh, there it is. There's a brown noser. Let's see. Paid off the amusement park's mortgage. That's nice. Let's see. He was celebrating he saved money on his taxes. Yeah, I mean, when you have an amusement park, you definitely, it's got to be expensive.
We all celebrate that. Yep.
Yeah. He was celebrating good times. Come on. Come on. Sorry, it was a slap chop guy who said the nuts line. I don't know who you're referencing there for that part either. He finally found the key that fits Miss Law. Tony. Let's see. Colin says Mets winning the World Series. That happened at some point in history, right? Sure. Yeah, Stevie. Bobby, he was celebrating 5,000 YouTube subscribers. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot. Darrell, anything there as an incorrect answer that you enjoyed most?
Where was it? I saw one up here. Hold on. It must not have been that great because now I forgot what it was. Well, since I'll give it to Bobby for the brown nosing.
It worked.
That wasn't the one I was thinking of, but I'll give it to her. Just I couldn't remember the other.
Oh, I missed this one. Roy Kirk said he knew BWS would be on the next issue.
No,
that is a good thing to
would have been
survive.
I already gave it to Bobby.
Sorry, Roy Kirk. All right, Bobby's on the board. All right. I think that's everything. We're gonna be back over on John's channel next week for 4 issues. Be ready. And John said he's gonna put every single panel on his slideshows.
Every panel gets its own slide.
Yes,
and we're gonna really expand.
And we're gonna do it twice. We're gonna go through it twice, just to really, So make sure you're subbed up to him, and then we want to give a big thanks to Darrell for joining us again. Darrell, always appreciate you, and always fun hanging out. We got some things in the works, I think, where the 3 of us will be doing some more good stuff. But yeah, in the meantime, make sure you sub up to his channel. His links are in the description below, and you can buy that T-shirt. I have one too, actually. What color shirt? What is that? Blue? Is that a navy?
I mean, it should be purple. I don't know what's going on with my color balance tonight because the books all look right. The books look perfect.
I got mine in purple. Darrell, I was the first one that got purple, right?
You were the first one.
I remember you.
I got beige the first time. I still have it. I like the beige one a lot.
Yeah,
nice. Darrell, anything you want to shout out or anything that you have coming up that you want to let the people know about since we're
Well, yeah, just check out my channel. I do flip through reviews, like top down with the physical book. Mostly, this is the only time you get to see this beautifulness right here. But
that's right.
Definitely check it out. I do the Peter David Hulk run. That's something like a continuing series I got going on. Nice. I've got some ideas for what I'm going to be doing in 2026, but I haven't settled on anything yet. So, those announcements will be coming shortly.
Cool. All right. Well, like I said, links are in the description below. And yeah, this is like record time. I feel like I feel weird. I feel like we should like
hour and a half.
Should we jump into the next issue? I don't know.
Justin's like, I've done 2
now.
streams. Let's do 3 streams.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
just
like
keep going. The night is young.
I'm still riding the high from the Kendrick Lamar talk. This all worked out really well. All right, gang. Well, we'll catch up with y'all next Tuesday. Until then, post some more Christmas and holiday books. But until next time, we will talk to you later.